heartily welcome all the London members of media. And I must at the outset thank all of them from core of my heart for having spared valuable time in this hot summer day and to be here in such large numbers. And I believe that as the committee is dedicated to the job given, the members of the media are also very serious and sincere about the events like what is happening in Manipur. Friends, now as you all know, on 3rd of May, the violence started. And little while later, I'll give you a little background also of this. So it is not a case where 3rd of May was the first event, but of course, that was a day when instant, unparalleled in respect of human rights violation had cropped up. Another important thing which is, we can say, proximate or it was so taken up by some of the groups, and that was with regard to an order which was passed by the Honorable High Court of Manipur. That was on 27th of March. Now, a few things about that order, a little background here. That, as you all know, there are a number of tribes in Manipur, but tribe known as Mitai, I think that is the correct pronunciation. Yes. Now that tribe was initially, that is prior to 50 and 47, that was initially taken in the category of ST. Thereafter, from 51 onwards, that tribe was removed from the category of ST. Now, in that respect, many events took place in the meanwhile. And then, at one point of time, 2013, in correspondence was going on between state government and the central government. As you know about for inclusion of any community as a member of ST or any other thing, the main authority is with the central government, Union of India. Now, in that respect, they obtain information, all requisite information from the state government also. Now, in this case, some information which was asked for by the Union of India, but for some reason, better known to those who were at that time at the helm of the state government, that information or that response or that reply was not sent. Then, in 27th March, ordered the Honorable High Court of Manipur had in a sense passed an order that whatever information is required, passed an order to the state government that on this subject, whatever information is required or asked for by the Union of India, that may be given. Now, here the problem started. So much so that some of the groups belonging to many tribal community had started their agitation or their resentment against that very order of the High Court. In my humble opinion, if the High Court had committed any error, the better and proper course was for any person, any community, to challenge that order of the High Court before the Honorable Supreme Court. But that High Court order was made the reason, and this agitation started. And it was on 3rd of May that agitation was out of bound and everything, all including violence and serious marpeat and other things which took place there. Now, for your information, subsequently on 5th of May, 6th of May, a petition thereafter came to file with the Honorable Supreme Court. And not one, thereafter many. And the Honorable Supreme Court had later on issued some directions to the government of Manipur, and that directions were, as you know, to first priority is to put the law and order to normalcy, give shelter to those who have left their home, take care of those persons who have been injured in that all those incidents, and rehabilitate and so on. On 17th of May 2023, again the order was passed by the Honorable Supreme Court. By that time, number of petitions had been clubbed with the original one in the Supreme Court. And in the meanwhile, that order of the single judge of Manipur High Court on 27th of March, that was also challenged as per procedure and rules of the High Court before the division bench. And that I believe is still pending. And that has been observed by the Honorable Supreme Court also, and particularly in the order of 17th May, that this should be taken care of, and if there is anything by the High Court, by the bench concerned, and thereafter if there is need, then the Supreme Court may be approached and all that. Now, apart from this, the most unfortunate part is that because of this violence and agitation, lot of people are displaced. Now, apart from it, that is again unfortunate that once this incident started taking place on 3rd of May, there were other number of issues which were pending or which were disputed, which was there before the communities in Manipur. They were also taken up by the various communities, tribal communities. And that led to making the whole thing complex. But anyhow, coming to the main point, that this status of ST to a community in Manipur is very significant. Significant in the sense that if a person is from the ST category, apart from reservation in employment, reservation education institution, and so on, attached with this is another benefit, that is in respect of the land, that is in respect of culture, tradition, other things. Now, another significant thing in this case is that there are two, the Mithite tribal are the largest in population. Of course, since 51 onward, they have reduced a bit, but still they are the largest. And when they are not in the ST category, then the first difficulty which appears to have come up, and that is also one of the reasons for the dispute and violence, was that the ST category people have some privilege of purchasing land, particular type of land and all, because there are hills and then plains and all that. Now, on one side, this community says, as we had got the information, we had interaction with some people of those places. They say on one side, we are the largest population. On the other side, when it comes to land, then we get a very small share for us. Somewhere around 20%. 10%, I correct myself. Now, that is one thing. On the other hand, the grievance which appeared to us so far was that the tribal community of Kuki, what they say is that because of large population, and as in India, the majority is taken for governance and according to democratic principles and all. So they are having large number of MLAs and public representatives. So if they are given ST status, then there will be additional benefit to them. Now, as I said little while ago, these are certain things, and many of them the issues are local, definitely. And these things have been going on for quite some time. But it was unfortunate that on 3rd of May, everything culminated to the number of incidents, and there was large scale of burning and displacement and all that. Now there are other certain local things which have also cropped up, and maybe not in the beginning, but later on they have also become the reason of this dispute and this violation. As for instance, under Forest Conservation Act and all, after the year 1976, the state government holds the responsibility. Now, what we have come to know is that when state government proceeds for under the Conservation Forest Act, then obstructions are created. When the state government goes and look after protected area, when the state government goes and looks after water bodies and all that, there are certain part of the society or the certain tribal communities who doesn't allow this to the state government on the ground that because they say whatever has been our tradition, culture, that has to go. They believe in sort of status quo so far as forest is concerned. Now, similarly, there is another issue which we have come across. That was in respect of deforestation and planting of poppy, this which is for the purpose of narcotics. Now there again the government wants that this not flourish there, and that has also become a cause of dispute and confrontation between some tribal people and the government officers and government machinery. Now this is how there are certain things that are also clubbed in, and they have come. And I will tell you one thing, whatever we have seen so far, there are disputes, there are grudges, there are, animosity from both the sides. Both the sides have suffered. One side had attacked the other one also not spent in retaliation. The other side also attacked. Both sides are all the tribal community who had participated in this, they are the victims and sufferers, all of them. But one ray of hope which I could gather from this work our committee has done, there are certain members of tribal community, including Mitai and Kukis and their supporters, who are still prepared to settle the matter amicably. That is why I would not say much at this juncture, but I would say ultimately it will be a combination of both. To bring normalcy in this state it will be a combination of both. That is the role of the government, so as to put law and order in order, and the social effort, because you know with your experiences that whenever there is dispute, confrontation, whatever it is, whether it is starting from family or community or the city, both the things go side by side. The government does its work, but persuasion and efforts made by the society, by the social like people, that the things can be settled down. But here we have found certain persons, certain members of the different tribal community who are trying to, and they will be making effort, they would like to make effort on this sort. Now, in the end, I would say, if you go through our preliminary report, we have, in the last, we have made 2 chapters. One is, what is the way forward? That means, in the simple words, what is to be done so as to settle down the whole thing. Certain issues, and there are certain questions which we have formulated. Now, this is something like, many of you have done law. This is something like, after considering the pleading of both the parties, we frame issues. We frame some points which we call issues, so as to deal the whole thing. Now, here we have formulated certain questions. Maybe some more may be added ultimately, or so this also we have done. That is for your consideration, as well as for us a guide for future work we will be doing. So that also we have. That is, of course, subject to modification wherever it is required. But these 2 things we have also done this in the end of the report for our own purpose also, so that we reach to a proper conclusion. And of course, you all will like, and you also will like, that the ultimate object is achieved, that normalcy come in the state of Manipur. They are all part of same state. They will be living there since generations, and they will be living in future also. It is better earlier. It is resolved, and everything become normal in the society. And that will also, otherwise, the present situation also creates a hindrance in the development of that state also. And Manipur, as little I know, is not lagging behind in many resources where the development can take place in that state. But all this will be done only when the state is peaceful.
Chairman of our fact-finding committee has comprehensively covered all the issues, and just one point I want to add, although that point was briefly covered by the chairman. As you all know, that this, after formulation of this our fact-finding committee on 5th of May, we have gathered a lot of information, discussed with the stakeholders and collected many sources, and prepared this interim finding. Now, which we have also shared with you. But you see, the first part is to find out this, our committee will find out what are the causes of this violence, why the violence, all these issues will be addressed in our report. But the most important part, I feel, and we feel, this committee feel, that what is the way forward? What is the way ahead? Now you see, unfortunate incident has taken place, and which has really disturbed the communities there, and also affected our national security environment. And definitely this will, some countries or groups will take advantage of this situation. So now we have, our our collective objective is to ensure complete peace and harmony in this area. So we will comprehensively cover these issues, what is the way forward, that the dialogue with the stakeholders. We will also discuss with the civil societies how they can work with the state administration to ensure peace and harmony in the state, and how does affected people can be given relief and rehabilitation measures. Then this narco-terrorism, which our chairman has also covered, is extremely important, which is getting momentum in that area. We want to address this issue also comprehensively. And our chairman has also covered that how both the communities help each other in that situation also. So it's not like that the communities are enemies of each other. There were incidents in our finding that how both the communities help each other to save each other. So we will try to use that forum, and we will try to elaborate that also. So I thought just to cover this, that the way forward is extremely important for us as well. Thank you.
With the permission of chairman, I will also put up one point here. I am from Assam police basically, 30 years I have worked there. I visited all the northeast states. This one big problem in northeast is the illegal migration. All the states are facing this problem. The original communities of these states, the population is reducing. Same is happening in Manipur. Same is happening in Assam. Everywhere it is happening. And this is another one reason for Manipur. The population of some tribes is increasing because they are coming from across the border from the Myanmar side. Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura are facing illegal migration from Bangladesh. So this is another reason which is a very difficult point, and it creates animosity among the residents of the state. So we have to cover that point also. We have to look into that aspect also, and how to sort it out, how to this problem is solved, and what is the committee will be doing, will be suggesting the government how to proceed further. But this is one of the problem. Illegal migration is a big problem. Now it's not only the northeast, other parts of the country are also facing slowly and slowly.
Now, one thing I want to add before I request you all to, if you wish to ask some point. All right. Now, this I have mentioned, but I like to elaborate it further. You see, ST category, many of you must be knowing it, is a constitutional mandate. Any community which wants to come or which is put in ST category, there is a proper procedure for it. And that procedure starts from the constitution itself. Unlike many other things where the state government is the final authority. Here, Article 241, Article 275, these are specific provisions mentioned for tribal people. Another thing which some of you must have heard, a governor of the state under this constitutional provisions has special powers to look into the issues of tribal people. Therefore, the normal procedure is, if any community is to put out from the category of ST, then also procedure has to be followed. And if one is to be included, then also a particular procedure has to be followed. And that procedure, mind you, is mandatory. No one can adopt, shortcut method. And I may inform you that when we are going through these documents, mails, and talking to the residents of those areas, there was a grievance that we are yet to look into, and we ourselves will definitely look into it. They say that when the one particular committee was ST till prior to 1950. And they were decategorized, I'll put it this way, when they were put away from that category. And they even say that so far as population figure and all are concerned, that was in their favor for to remain in that category. But their grievance is, I'm not saying that is true or not, we have to go into it. But they say that when we were taken away, out from the category of ST, no procedure, legal procedure was followed. We were not knowing, the state government was not asked, the central government procedure was not followed, and this is their version that only because of few person at the helm of the government, they hastily did this, and this category, where tribal community was put out. So therefore, this is a thing which has to be proceeded with in accordance to law strictly. No one can avoid it. And of course, as I said, the social pressure shows these activists who are sincere in this to resolve the social problem and all, they are also required and they have to play their role. We'll request you all, one by one, if you want to put any point, come and take a seat.
So I just wanted to quote from the report, second page. It says it is evident from the unfolding events that the whole episode of violence, was very well strategized by Kuki Sioux militants supported by ATSUM, KSO and Manipur Tribal Forum, etc.
Now,
My question is that the report says accuses Kuki Sioux militants of orchestrating the violence. What evidence is this conclusion based on? Did you identify any particular Sioux outfits that were involved in it? What were these outfits?
I am following what you are saying, but my simple request is, when I addressed you, I have said everything about this. What I had said was that we have been told all these things, but this is not our finding.
This is still not the committee's finding.
No, even my friend, I may tell you one thing, and I don't hesitate in disclosing. This is preliminary report. If required, we may come with another report before you.
So this
जैसे कहते हैं ना, मंथन से अमृत निकलता है, आप लोगों के डिस्कशन से हमको भी कुछ मिलेगा. And then maybe at the third stage we come with the finding. And secondly, please, I follow you. Secondly, as I said in my speech, that we found where both the community people in Matai as well as Cookies, they are playing the role of peacemakers.
Sure, I understand.
And I said that was the ray of hope for me particularly. That yes, they are enlightened people in this society. They are people who really love their motherland and they want peace. Because they know ultimately it is a peace which leads to the welfare and development of the society. And that welfare is not for any individual, it is for every family. So this is only a preliminary inquiry, in observation of ours. Everything, including what we have said in this, will be doubly checked. And when we come with the final report, I can assure you one thing, even today itself, that it will be, whatever we give finding, it will be supported by proper legal evidence. And then if you have an objection, I'll be there to answer you.
Still, sir, at this point, one more clarification. Whatever is mentioned in this report, I understand it's preliminary. To what extent has the committee verified the information in this report, or do you still will verify more?
I said we'll doubly check it. I said in my speech, it is a matter concerning of the entire state. It is not a small thing. एक जगह का एक शहर का नहीं है. It is a matter relating to the entire state. And you know it, 34 tribal community, and these all, they have near about 40 tribal community. You people know better. Now we have to hear every one of them. At least our conscience will not allow us to give any finding, any report with finding unless we hear everyone.
So this report will not be shared with any government body or the administration or anybody who is involved in the peacemaking or law and order in the state?
This preliminary report will not issue, not now.
Madam, may I put a question to you? You are asking some point for its clarification on the issue, or you are asking to block our actions?
No, no, so that's what I'm asking because your previous reports were submitted to the government. So I'm just wanting that this is
Our, at least we had not submitted any. I don't know from where you got this impression.
on daily rights. I think a report on daily rights.
We are not concerned with
It's
that.
not the same committee, sir. Could have been the same organization. But anyway.
No, it is not. No. The trustee is there with you.
I'll answer this question. Each time when we constitute a fact finding committee, it's a different. Like we already have one more committee which is working, which is on the Forest Regulation Act, implementation of that and the progress rate. So that is the Justice in Bhingra, under his chairmanship it is working. So when they will come with the final report, maybe we will give it to the President of India and talk to and share with all of you. Similarly, this report is a preliminary report which is not just based on something. There are thousands of FIR complaints of males, females. We have all. We are examining those. So basis this, some preliminary report has been made. Final report has yet to come.
And secondly, I don't know about your background, but you see, this committee is very open, and we'll welcome any other person's cooperation contributed to us. Likewise, suppose on this issue, any researcher, any other social activities is also doing, we would like to exchange things from him also, and we like to give him also that this is what we have found till now. So please don't restrict our area by saying will you give it or not. Suppose tomorrow any public representative for his own benefit or something says that I would like to read it. Now can I say no? You see, this is a public issue. We should not take it so in a conservative manner. This is my personal opinion. We will share our views, exchange our views, and as I said, जितना मंथन करेंगे अमृत निकलेगा. I am not here, or my committee members are not here to take any credit as such. We are here to do service to the society.
कितने दिन में आप ये रहेगा इस रिपोर्ट को बनाने में, कितने दिन लोगों के साथ बातें की है?
ऐसा काश मैं ये बता सकता, भविष्यवाणी कर सकता. मैं फिर वही बात दोहरा रहा हूँ, आप भी इसको महसूस कर रहे होंगे कि मसला बहुत बड़ा है. कम से कम ज़्यादा नहीं तो हज़ारों लोग इसमें शामिल है. जैसा आपने देखा इतनी रिपोर्ट है.
कितने दिन की है मैं समझ गई.
हाँ,
कितने दिन आप वहाँ पे रहे हैं?
मैं तो अभी जाऊंगा. मैंने पहले ही कह दिया, अभी मुझे कई बातें क्रॉस चेक करनी है. नहीं तो मैं आपको बहुत कुछ अभी बता देता. क्रॉस चेक देखिए, आप जानते हैं इवन दस्तावेज जो आता है, दस्तावेज का भी वेरिफिकेशन करना पड़ता है. पहली बात ये कि ये दस्तावेज अमुक आदमी ने लिखा भी कि नहीं. दूसरा, उस दस्तावेज जो लिखा उस आदमी को बैठा के समझना पड़ेगा. उसको हम वहाँ तक ले जाएंगे कि आया ये दस्तावेज ने अपने आप लिखा है, किसी ने उसको ट्यूटर किया है. दिस लिटिल एक्सपीरियंस एज ए जुडिशियल ऑफिसर आई एम हैविंग इट. आई विल satisfy myself fully that yes, whatever he is saying is the truthful version. इसलिए टाइम कितना लगेगा मैं नहीं कह सकता, पर यह जरूर है कि जो अल्टीमेटली रिपोर्ट इस कमेटी की आएगी वो निश्चित रूप में मणिपुर के सिटीजन्स के लिए कहीं न कहीं फ़ायदा करेगी.
ये रिपोर्ट मैंने पढ़ी है कि वहाँ पे कई हजार चर्च जलाई गई है. एक दूसरा, इतनी हिंसा लड़ाई तो पुरानी, लेकिन इतनी बड़ी तादाद में हिंसा कभी नहीं हुई है. जो वहाँ पे कई रिपोर्टर्स गए हैं और बता रहे हैं, लेकिन इतनी बड़ी हिंसा, इतना ऐसा क्या हुआ कि जो जान के दुश्मन बन गए? ऐसा क्या हुआ?
ऐसा है उसमें
कुछ लोग ये भी कह रहे हैं कि राम माधवन 2 साल से वहाँ पर थे आरएसएस के लोग, और उसमें उन्होंने काफी कुछ बढ़ाया. ये बहुत बड़ी रिपोर्ट आई है. तो इसमें मुझे नहीं पता, इसमें मैंने पढ़ी नहीं, अभी देखी है.
मेरा आपकी बात से ये है कि हमारे पास भी दोनों तरह के व्यूज़ आ रहे हैं. एक तो जो आपने कहा चर्च जले हैं, एक ये कहा कि मंदिर जले हैं, मंदिर भी जले हैं, तोड़े गए हैं। एक ये भी आया है जो उन लोगों में, दोनों कम्युनिटी, कुछ लोग ऐसे भी हैं जिन्होंने बड़ा स्पष्ट कहा है कैसा हम पे अटैक किया, हमने रिटेलिएट किया तो उसमें उनका भी नुकसान हुआ था। ये भी बात आई हमारे सामने, तो हम इसको पूरी अच्छी तरह फुल्ली सेटिस्फाइड है, ये निश्चित है। लेकिन इसमें आपको एक चीज़ बता देता हूँ, इन लीगल लैंग्वेज ऑल्सो, जिसको लॉ भी रिकग्नाइज करता है, एक नॉर्मल इंसिडेंट है, एक स्पर ऑफ मूवमेंट इंसिडेंट है। आपको मालूम है स्पर ऑफ मूवमेंट में कितना भी सीरियस ऑफेंस कमिट हो गया उसको भी लॉ का प्रोटेक्शन मिलता है अगर आप एस्टेब्लिश कर दें। दैट मीन्स देयर इज नो प्री डिटर्मिनेशन, देयर इज नो प्री प्लानिंग। द रिजल्ट ऑफ अ प्रोसिक्यूशन ऑफ एनी ऑफेंस बिकम डिफरेंट इफ कोर्ट इज ऑफ द व्यू कि देयर इज नो प्री प्लानिंग, देयर इज नो इंटेंशन इन दैट एक्शन। लाइकवाइज हमारे यहाँ ये भी कहते हैं कि ऑफेंस जो है वो ठीक है, लेकिन एक होता है मॉब मेंटेलिटी। ये जो आप कह रहे हैं ना, इसमें काफ़ी हिस्सा जो इतना हिंसा हुआ, इतना हिंसा हुई और हुई, काफ़ी हिस्सा इसमें काफ़ी हिस्सा उस कारण, वो भी कारण है कि जब मॉब मेंटेलिटी होती है ना तो कोई किसी को कुछ नहीं देखता है।
तो ये तो वही वाली बात हो गई, मॉब ये जो भीड़ इकट्ठी की गई है, वही गुजरात में हुआ, वही ये हुआ, उसके बाद में तेज है, वही गुजरात में, वही दिल्ली दंगे में, वही मणिपुर में हुआ।
देखिए
सेम चीज वही आ रही है।
ऐसा है, मैं तो जब इस कमेटी की रिपोर्ट बनाऊंगा ना फाइनल, मुझे इस टाइम मेरी ड्यूटी है, मेरी ड्यूटी मुझे ये कहती है, जब मैं ये काम कर रहा हूँ मुझे इसी काम पे ध्यान रखना है और इसी पे देखना है। आई एम नॉट टू बी इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय एनी अदर इंसिडेंट। आई डोंट नो, फॉर मी टिल आई गिव रिपोर्ट आई एम नॉट टू गो फॉर एनी अदर इंसिडेंट। हाँ, ये हमारा ब्लॉग, हाँ नहीं होती, नहीं हुई होगी, मैं मानता हूँ, मैं कब कह रहा हूँ नहीं हुई है, हो सकता है नहीं हुई हो।
हिंदुओं को आमने सामने कर दिया।
कोर्ट का जो ऑर्डर जो था, हाई कोर्ट और मणिपुर हाई कोर्ट का ऑर्डर,
After the Manipur High Court order,
the only the thing is this business, the truck.
आज एक किसी भी कम्युनिटी में आप जाएंगे, यू विल फाइंड कैटेगरी ऑफ पर्सन, वन स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम लेबर टू द ऑफिसर. We can visualize what will be the condition of labor if 10 days the market is not open. Everyone is affected. I don't know, you must be having experience, I don't know what is your background. It is a settled principle that when you go for agitation, the more time the agitation is continued, there are chances that it will be a failure. Why? The reason is, it is natural. How far a person can go with that without any, things coming for his livelihood. So there's, many times, even when the spur of movement the thing happens, after few days, he himself realizes it. Yes. So,
just one last clarification, please indulge me, I'll ask for forgiveness. As of now,
before you put any question to me, I'll ask you to please sit down here.
I prefer this is
No.
my voice is reaching.
No, this request of mine will have to be accepted by you. Please come and take a seat.
Hello, sir. My name is Chan.
No, he's there before you. He's there before you.
Fine, sir, if you insist.
Because what I feel is, this is the minimum courtesy which I can give you.
Sure, I understand.
Yes.
I'm going to repeat the question once again. As we sit here today, as of this time,
अरे इनको आवाज तेज है।
अरे
ठीक है।
as of this time, as we are sitting here right now, how much of this information in this in preliminary report can be fully substantiated by this fact-finding committee? How much of this can be fully substantiated by this fact-finding committee as of now? I know that there is a lot of work yet to be done.
You see, there are two different things. One is you take information, you receive information. Another is you come to a conclusion. Now your question relates to the second part. When you say how much I can substantiate, that means how much I've concluded that can be supported by evidence. I told you, my friend, in the very beginning, I have not come to any conclusion so far. None of my members have come. We are still in the exploring and survey stage.
So then this cannot be called a report, right, sir? Because there are no findings.
You may not call it. There is no finding. Now, just give an example. You heard about 154 CRPC. What is it? First information report. Can you tell me what findings are there in that report? That is that misimpression you are having. That report means there has to be a finding. No. But the very initiation of that procedure of finding about the offence is FIR. The word used is report. I am just giving an example where you said what you wanted to convey to me was that report means it has to have some finding. No.
Okay, fine.
So there are thousands of FIR lying here.
That's what I'm worried about.
Very well. And yes, my friend, there you had something.
Hello, sir. My name is Chan Baltei Potsandom. I'm from Manipur.
Yeah.
And first of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to the committee for taking up such a suitable decision to form a fact-finding committee. And we are privileged to have you around and come up with such a good idea. In the meantime, sir, I would like to clear out some of the doubt from the madam and sir that this is a fact-finding committee and this is just a preliminary report. I'd like to give you an example that when you draw at something, it's just the basic sketch we are making. This is not the final version. So let's not jump the gun. Yes, ma'am. So that is the reason it is called preliminary report. Alright. In the meantime, sir, you have asked that if there is any substantial proof that you have evidence or anything like that. We would like to go into a deeper kind of investigation if you want to ask those questions, because it has been legally verified in certain police officers, police stations, we have around 1,500 FIRs, that at 3 o'clock in the evening on 3rd of May, the house were burned down, they were chased off. Now that's what a part of the preliminary report comes out, right? That is what is the preliminary report is based on, right? Now, if you bring in more documents saying that no, those are wrong, Maitis were not affected. First, it was the Maite who started the thing, or it was the cookie. Then maybe the preliminary report will be, it will also have that story there, right? So I will request you not to jump the gun. First of all, let's try and appreciate that what the whole committee is trying to do here, okay? And if you need any more further questions, I will be there. I am from Manipur, and I will be able to defend as well as give you right answer.
With the permission of all of you, may I, on behalf of my committee members, once again thank you all for having come, spared your valuable time, and be with us. And I sincerely hope, as and when we come again, you will be kind enough to be with us